When I see people, I see potential. When I read stories, I see seeds that carry a larger mission beyond the author's manuscript. It is my desire to highlight the untold messages hidden in the hearts of each author. With each interview, you will learn about the kingdom assignment that is attached to each book. Be inspired by their testimony, be encouraged by their transparency, and be empowered by their potential. This is Life After Publishing.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you so much, Debra, for joining us in this episode of Life After Publishing. I'm so excited to have you here with us. You recently completed your first manuscript. How do you feel? Tell me how you feel.
I feel like a load has been lifted.
Yes.
But in a good way.
Yes.
I think that when I decided to write the book, it was the beginning of a journey that I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
But even while I was writing, the emotions, the flashbacks, and everything else that I encountered as I wrote the book, it just feels like a breath of fresh air in this moment.
Wow.
So
it was very therapeutic for you.
Very, 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 very.
What do you hope that your readers will take away from your book?
What I hope they take away is the mindset that there's nothing that is impossible, that the life lessons that you have learned throughout the years that you have been on this earth, you have learned them for a reason.
Yeah.
And then to know that there are certain things that you have to unlearn.
Oh,
I often think as far as your upbringing, whatever home you were in, I heard my pastor say this, that was the first university that you attended.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So to know that there are some things that you have to navigate through as far as life, and then make that determination of what was good to hold on to, and then what was bad that you have to release.
Oh my gosh, and that kind of tie into the first question I have for you. How does your upbringing affect the way that you go into adulthood?
Wow, I think it affects it 1,001%, if not even more. I think that when you sit down and think about how your parents were taught, or what they know, they gave you what they knew to give you in that moment.
Yeah.
You know, with my parents did not go to college. I think my mom finished the 8th grade. My father maybe finished the 7th grade or so, but they were not high school graduates. So just to know in my home, they can only take me so far.
Yeah.
And I think that with all the things that I did learn up under their roof, they gave me the best of what they knew to give.
Wow, that's good.
So from that, it's like, okay, I've given you all you can handle at this point, or all that I can all that I have to give you at this point. So what I need you to do is do things further along mentally, emotionally, as far as your sense of awareness and development.
Yeah. It's really crazy. Well, not crazy, but it's amazing to hear you talk about your parents did the best that they could. Because I remember for me growing up, it was 5 of us. And of course I look back over my childhood and I'm like, there could have been some things done differently.
Yes.
But I love my mother, I love my father, and I appreciate what they installed in me. But there's some mental health issues that I feel like I, had to work through. That's because, being a perfectionist started as a child.
Right.
So is there anything in your book that, I know you talk about, like the title of your book is Why Not You?
Okay.
Why was it so important for you to highlight the fact that you're speaking to your younger self?
Wow. And that was the amazing part. For you to mention that, I had the vision for the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Before the book was even
That was a whole move.
Right.
The cover's going to be amazing. We're having special illustrations done for that.
So for the thought of me to be pointing at the younger version of myself, I think I even quote in the book how you have those would have, should have, and could have moments in your life.
Yeah.
We all have had them. So to know that, and to know that I had an opportunity, or either within the time or either time frame that I'm living now, to point at my younger self to say, you had no idea what this life was about to show you.
Oh my gosh.
You had no idea the journey that you were going to be on. And it was as if God had a way of orchestrating everything, even though it wasn't always good.
Yeah.
But it was good for me.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten me to this point in my life. So just to know that, yeah, you have those upbringings, you have those mindsets when you're younger, and I think that when you're able to reflect, you're able to sit back and say to yourself, wow, I could have done that differently. But yet still, I came out okay.
You're still here.
Right, I'm still here.
Yes, and it kind of goes with our theme of like without Christ, right? Because we know like we can make some decisions that will jack us up.
Yes.
Not even leaning towards childhood, but just personal decisions that we make that can affect us and things of that nature. So, in your opinion, confidence, good mental health, is that shaped in childhood or is it shaped over time?
Wow. I think the beginning stages of it starts in childhood.
Wow.
And I think it develops over time. Like I made mention earlier, as far as knowing what you've learned and hold on to those things, and then what you need to unlearn. I think in the midst of that, because you deal with life, there are certain things that you have to learn how to get over.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't say, and like I think I even make mention in the book, that it may not be a 5-second thing. It may be a process.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, that when you know process means not instant, but it means it may take time. But the goal is that you're at a starting point.
Yeah.
You're acknowledging something. You're recognizing what it was. You realize that it's a hindrance. And because it is a hindrance in your life, you have to make a conscious decision that I can't let this continue to rule me.
Yeah.
Because it's stopping my growth.
Yeah.
And my development is being stunted. So to answer that, I think it's a developmental process.
Right. It's a journey.
You know, it's a journey. As long as we're living, we're learning.
Yeah. Is there a moment in your childhood where you feel like maybe trauma happened and it kind of changed your perspective on life? Is there a moment you would like to share with us?
Absolutely. I can recall being in elementary, and there was a friend of mine, and I'll never forget this. She was on punishment. And you know, being kids, we do what we do. They said the foolishness is found in the heart of a child.
Yeah.
So of course you get the knock on the door, mom's at work, what happened? Come outside and play. You come outside and play. It's the winter time. And when she came out with her friends, even though she was on punishment, she went down by the river and she drowned.
Oh my.
So I can remember in elementary school going to her funeral.
My.
I didn't see myself in it at that moment to say that that could have been me. But what it said to me was, wow, just think if she would have listened to her parents, if she would have obeyed the fact that, man, you know, I don't like the fact that you guys are outside playing, but I do know I did something that warrants me to be in the house.
Yeah.
So just think if you had made a different decision.
Yeah.
The possibility of being here today will still be.
I mean, that is a lot, because it makes me think about the grace of God.
Yes.
Right? Even in my own life, you know, decisions I've made as an adult, you know what I mean? And you know that it was only the grace of God that your whole life hasn't turned for the worse.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Is there any moments as an adult where you feel like it was literally, like I was probably in disobedience, but it was literally the grace of God that He spared me?
Wow. Let me see. I think we all have those moments. I'm trying to think of one in particular where I can say that, wow, God, if it wasn't for your grace in my life, you know, I can remember, and I write a little bit about it. I just kind of tap into it just a little bit as far as me going through a divorce.
Yes.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It was not an easy time. And I think I can recall being in fear initially. And like the scriptures say, when you're in fear where there is no fear, there is no fear for you to be fearful of. But I was fearful.
Yeah.
Because life as I knew it was about to change.
Wow.
I had my 3 daughters.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, how am I going to do this with the 3 of them? But not realizing God had already equipped me
for
a moment that I had no idea that was going to take place.
Wow.
So I can remember having those conversations with myself, encouraging myself, asking God, you have to help me because I don't know what direction to go in as far as making this life normal for me because it's so different than what I was accustomed to.
Yeah.
I had been with my ex since I was 15 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Over 20 something years.
Wow.
So I can remember in my 40s saying to my hairdresser, I don't know what these 40s are going to bring, but 40s going to be fabulous.
Yes.
So it was like I was having this evolution. This thing was happening to me.
Wow.
This wonderful thing called woman was happening, and it was happening right before my eyes, not even knowing that he was equipping me. He was giving me the confidence. He was giving me the reassurance. He was giving me the grace. Not even realizing it at that moment. So when things hit, the first thing I start saying, something, I won't make a decision as far as divorcing until I can manage the area of forgiveness.
Oh, wow.
So I went a while, 3 years, close to 3, before I finally made the decision. I think for me, it was because I knew it wasn't just about me. I had 3 children.
Right.
I didn't want no regrets. And I need to make sure that I was clearly hearing from God.
Oh my God.
So my goal was, you forgive, you decide, you move how I tell you to move.
Wow.
So yes.
You shined some light for me in that area because I always felt like if you're not happy or if things are going on, just move, just divorce. I guess that's
no. You would be amazed, of the number of women I talk to that sits in regret. And they sit back and say, Deb, how are you so happy? How were you able to move on? First of all, I never missed a beat. God tripled things for me.
Wow.
Unbelievably.
Wow.
Triple them.
Wow.
And when I speak to women and they say that, I say, well, at what mode? Meaning, where were you emotionally when you made the decision?
Wow.
If you made it out of anger, that was not the time to make that kind of decision.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Wow. Okay.
No, life got to go on in a state of peace.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. It brings me to another question is, how did you balance everything? As a working woman, as a mom, and even just for ourselves, because I talk with my girlfriends all the time, and I'm like, I need some me time. How did you manage and balance everything?
I'm going to say me time is important.
Okay.
And I think because we are wired, women are wired the way that we are wired, and we all know emotional creatures, whatever. But at the same token, we want to make sure everybody's okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that I didn't always succeed at the balancing act. I really didn't.
Speak on it.
We didn't. I didn't. I can remember my girl saying,
truth.
Oh yeah, very much so. I can remember my girl saying, well, mommy, the program starts at 3, but we know you may not get there at 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I'll be like, no, I'm going to be there. I'm going to come out. Right. But it was as if that they knew that because of the job that I was working, that the possibility of something going wrong on a day that I don't need it to go wrong could most likely happen. So that's fine every now and then. But the job that I had was very demanding. So I did not always do that well. But I am going to say that I did learn.
Okay.
That sometimes you have to say no.
So I loved your thoughts about balancing everything, explaining the process of becoming a woman, the journey. And it's all about the journey.
That's true.
A lot of times as women or individuals, we're like, we want the destination. And we completely take our eyes off of the journey and we forget that it's in the journey where development happens. Wow. Where elevation happens. It's not when you're standing on the stage speaking to millions of people. It's those late nights. It's those moments where you're crying out to God, asking for strength. It's those moments that develop our character and elevate us.
That's true.
So speaking of elevation, women, I feel like if you look on social media, we're running the world, literally. No pun. Like, I love my men.
That's right.
We're not going to leave them out.
That's right.
But it just seems like there's a rise of self-made African-American women. Let's just be honest.
That's true.
And I was listening to an interview with Sarah Jakes and Anthony O'Neill, and it was so great. I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to listen to it, but there was something that was said during the interview that really I was like, oh my gosh, I need to talk about this. And Anthony O'Neill said, should women wait on a man to build a legacy? Yes! I love that! Should women wait on a man to build a legacy? And I'm going to tell you now, Sarah Jakes was like, absolutely not. Absolutely. So give me your thoughts on that.
Let me just say this. I have 3 daughters.
Okay. And
I have been telling my daughters since they've been here, you need to be the full package.
Woo!
That beauty is one thing, but that can go away.
Yes.
But what's everlasting is your knowledge,
yes,
your sense of wisdom, who you are as an individual, your integrity. Yes. So when you come to the table, you're already coming with great character and personality. Wow. Now when you bring an addition to that, financially, you know how to manage your money. Yes. You know how to be financially set. You know that when you bring someone into the picture, it's for the betterment of the two of you. Meaning that you may not come with everything stacked up the way you want it to be stacked, but both of you all are contributing to something that you're going to build together. Oh, that's so good. So a man. I love our men. Like I said, I do. But by that same token, I think a lot of times what happened to us as a culture when it comes to some women, it's a mindset that the man has to take care of me. The man have to do this. And now I do believe that there should be an element of that. I do believe you protect me, from the time frame that you're in my presence, out of my presence. You have that sense of, like you said, provision, that sense of power, protection. All of that comes with. Yeah. But I need to come as a contributing factor as well. Absolutely. Or something's wrong here. We got a seesaw that's very lopsided. Right. So I just think that you get much respect from both angles. Yeah. When we're both coming to the table with something that you're going to make me better, and I'm going to make you better. Oh, that's so good. So it's a building block. Yes. You can't come empty-handed and say, if you can't come put me in a 5-bedroom house. Don't come empty-handed. That's right. Yes. I love that. For me to say it myself, but no, I just think that absolutely not. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely not. Yeah. I do believe that the man is the head, but of course we're the neck that helps it turn. Yes. It's a partnership. Yes. It's a togetherness. Yes. You know, I need you to be my husband, my mate, my confidant, and all that other stuff. I don't need you to sit and just tell me what to do, and here it is, you ruling over me, or that sense of you have to do it all. Yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah. That's why we got stress, heart attacks, and everything else. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, I think that sums up how I feel as well. Right. So we're going to put a period there. So as the last question, what are your plans for this book? Like, what would you love to see God do with this book? This is what I would love to see God do. For one, if the individuals that read this book take it and reflect on their life to the point to where whatever they're dreaming, whatever they're hoping, whatever they're seeing, whatever they're envisioning, they can see it. Oh, wow. And they take the needed actions to make things happen. Yeah. I also want God to give me the opportunity to speak to as many, and even though I love women, I think it's 100% for women, but men too. Yeah. To say that there are certain things that I believe that He has installed in me that can contribute to somebody's life. Yeah. And to let them see the bigger picture. Yeah. Because it's bigger than where you are. Absolutely. And I just believe that where you are is not your potential. If you're already met a goal, it's more in you. Absolutely. It's more in you. I love that. That's part of the journey. That's part of the journey. That's part of the journey. But Debra, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure to check out Debra's new book, Why Not You?